There's a reason that Meta, Instagram specifically, and now Facebook have really tried to copy the algorithm over at TikTok, because TikTok has done such an amazing job on dialing in what a viewer's looking for in that moment. It's wicked good at how quickly they dialed in the algorithm over at TikTok, and Instagram still hasn't been able to figure it out. Facebook hasn't been able to figure it out, but it's kind of fun watching them try.
Hi there. Welcome to the Connecting KC podcast. I'm Rachel Kilmer, also known as Rach the Realtor on the internet, where I love, connecting all things KC. I'm a metro area real estate agent, retired sports reporter, and mom, and probably too old to call myself a TikToker, but honestly, that's how we got here. You can learn more at www.rachtherealtorkc.com. But this show is all about introducing you to all of the movers and shakers, interesting people, heartfelt stories, and funny quirks that make this vibrant community home. So let's get right to it with today's episode of Connecting KC. Welcome to Connecting Kansas City. Today, I am excited to be joined by Kevin Mochel. Kevin is the creative behind 180 Your Marketing, a marketing agency quickly becoming Kansas City's go-to for affordable, high-quality video production, social media marketing, and full-service podcast production. Side note, he is the producer behind this very show. Recognizing the critical role of video in contemporary marketing, his agency is dedicated to ensuring that this powerful tool is within reach for all small businesses. Kevin's analytical prowess and strategic insight are now empowering entrepreneurs to not just compete, but to stand out in today's fast-paced digital arena. Around town, Kevin's reputation precedes him. With local business owners, you know how hard it was for me to not just drop a Taylor Swift lyric there. It took every ounce of self-control. With local business owners often greeting him as the familiar face from his engaging workshops and his online presence. His initial venture was aimed at providing added value to realtors and has now blossomed into a full-service firm with a focus on small businesses, real estate, and loan professionals, driving visibility and client engagement through innovative marketing strategies. Education is a cornerstone of Kevin's mission. He offers an array of free content-rich training sessions, democratizing marketing. Hey, Kevin, can you edit this? Democratizing marketing knowledge and empowering businesses to excel. What distinguishes Kevin is his steadfast belief that access to top-tier, affordable video and marketing services is a game changer for small businesses, a conviction reflected in every strategy and service offered by 180 Your Marketing. So Kevin, welcome to the dreaded show that you have to edit and save me week in and week out. I appreciate you being here and putting up with me every single week.
No, thank you so much for having me. Obviously, we need to shorten that bio. My goodness, you got to be exhausted after reading all that.
It's a lot to cover. I mean, I don't know what we would have cut out. And my only complaint is that you didn't take the opportunity for the Taylor Swift reference when you had it. But
and I'm not gonna lie, that went. Whew. So yeah, I'm not a Swiftie.
That's all right. We'll work on it. So I did initially meet you. Well, actually, the first time I heard the name Kevin Mochel was in my real estate office when I first was getting started. And another agent in my office said, there's this guy, Kevin, out in Overland Park, and he does all these classes. And she's like, I kind of feel bad going almost because I learned so much and I don't have the opportunity to refer him that much insurance business, but they're so great. You have to come. And that was Amy and Mindy. And then I came, and I do learn from you every time I come to one of your classes. But how did this all begin? Like, what was the origin story of 180 Your Marketing and the classes as kind of your original method to reach the masses?
Sure. So my partner and I, which is my wife, Christy, we've been in insurance for, oh my goodness, I've been in insurance now for about 30 years, probably about 25 for Christy. We had an insurance agency for 12 years, sold it way back in 2012. And then in about 2018, Christy started another one. I joined her shortly thereafter. And we took a little different spin on this, and the fact that we wanted something that we could streamline and then hopefully scale. And so we decided we were going to be an independent insurance agency or brokerage and just focus strictly on home, auto, and life. And as a lead source or a lead generator, who better to go to than the people that are continually coming up with new homeowners insurance referrals in the real estate world and the mortgage world. And so I kind of, through a lot of different online platforms and learning and going to different events and taking different courses, I decided I was going to really dive into marketing and try to leverage marketing to provide a value added to real estate agents and to lenders. And so I started to teach marketing oriented classes. And, the first class I think I taught, Rachel, the first class I taught, I had 4 people show up. I gave it my all, and I did everything I could. And so it's really amazing over the years now. I've literally had thousands and thousands of people come through my classes. But it was a learning experience. It was, a lot of trial, a lot of failure, and a lot of going back to the drawing board and reinventing ourselves. And after doing that for a period of time, I started to have people come up and say, "Can you do our marketing?" And I'm like, no, I'm an insurance guy. And one thing led to another, and I started to do marketing for different small business owners, for different real estate and mortgage professionals here in Kansas City. And that's where 180 Year Marketing was born. Now, my staff and we are strictly on the marketing side. So even though I do own part of an insurance agency, I'm not involved in the day-to-day in that at all anymore. Christy and her team run that. And I'm over here doing kind of what I'm really passionate and really what I love to do, which is helping people with their marketing.
Yeah, that's so exciting. And now, your classes they usually sell out. It's a lot of people. You had to get bigger and bigger spaces. When you first started this, did you foresee it getting to this point? Like, was that a vision that you had, or did it just kind of evolve naturally over time?
No, it really evolved naturally. I actually back in like 2019 started really running like Facebook ads to generate real estate leads for mortgage lenders. Mortgage lenders could take those real estate leads, pass those off to realtors. And I really saw myself more in the digital ad space. And then I quickly determined that was a lot of work for our referral partners, because generating leads on places like Facebook for real estate was not the most lucrative avenue. And so, no, that's then quickly when the classes were born. And no, I had no idea now that I would be doing this. And now I'm actually starting to teach across the country, which is really, really cool. And it's so fun.
Yeah, that's exciting. Have you ever thought about charging for your classes? Like, has that business model ever occurred to you? And do you see yourself going in that direction ever?
Yeah, I can't say never. I can't say no, because I don't know what the future is going to hold. And yeah, I think there will be a point in time where there may be some things that we do charge for, because I see, especially here in the Kansas City space, bringing in some bigger and better talent than me and putting together some really, really great marketing events for Kansas City business owners. And, on those type of events, I think we're going to have to charge for that. The stuff that I've done, I've always taken great pride in doing that for free, because I've always been an advocate that I think business owners and professionals need to have access to affordable marketing solutions. And if they can't afford that, or they're just not at that place in their business to be able to outsource that and buy that, I at least want them to be able to learn for free so that they can go back and kind of DIY their own marketing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. What kind of skill level are most people on when they come to you to say, I want to hire 180 Year Marketing to help me? And what's the first thing they usually come to you for? And then I'm sure it's snowball effect after that, but what's the first get in the door thing usually?
It's kind of all over the board. We are kind of a video first agency. So a lot of people come and they say, I need help with social media. And it's not because they don't know how to do the social media. It's the accountability, the consistency, knowing it will get done if they outsource that. But what they quickly learn is if you work with us for, let's say, social media, I make you do video, whether you want to or not. And so if you don't want to do video, I don't think that investing in social media for most businesses, there's obviously exceptions to that, is probably the right thing for you. And so they come wanting to basically outsource the day-to-day on the social. And then I get them hooked and really, really deep into doing videos, talking head type of videos, educational type of content, YouTube, podcasting with the video component on there as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. I also, in addition to editing my podcast, for those of you listening, Kevin and his team also shoot and edit my YouTube videos. And I debated back and forth because I'm capable of doing any of this, but it's the time in the day. And so I kind of put Kevin and my personal trainer in the same category of, could I Google a workout routine and go work out? Yeah. But like having the accountability of someone there, you guys are my glorified babysitters, okay? And then the rest of it is like great to not have to do it myself. But I think that accountability piece is so huge. And then of course the time savings and all of that. But yeah, I think people underestimate how much pressure you put on yourself to like do the thing you committed to do when there's someone else that's counting on you to follow through with it as well.
Well, and you know this very well, but most people, when it comes to marketing their business, I'm going to say most because I'm going to tell a story about Rachel here in just a quick sec. But most people, life gets in the way. So business gets in the way, personal life gets in the way, and marketing's one of those things you kicked the can down the road and you push off till tomorrow, and then tomorrow becomes next week. And so when you don't have someone that's saying, hey, we've got an appointment, you've got to be here to shoot your videos, or I need some content to help put out on social, whatever the case may be, it doesn't get done. So yeah, a lot of people are more than capable to do their own marketing, but we bring that accountability to the table. Now I say most people. So you and I met, oh my goodness, we met at a coffee shop in Lee Summit 2-3 years ago. And you had already gotten quite a bit of traction, I think, in your real estate business. But you said something, and to this day, I still remember this because you're kind of one of the outliers when it comes to marketing, and I absolutely loved it. But you say, I need to outsource certain things in my business because my day looks like this. And every morning when I get up, I've got to make sure that I do my TikTok videos and I do my stories. Those are non-negotiable in my business. And that was such a powerful, powerful statement that I knew right away, even though early in your career, that you're going to be very, very successful because you took marketing and you made it a non-negotiable. So absolutely kudos for that.
Well, thank you. It's just, I think it's like, as you scale your business, as I'm sure you're experiencing in yours too, it's like there are some things you can't outsource, but you have to pinpoint the ones that are you and like why the reason people are hiring you or want to work with you. Those you have to do. And so for me, it's those things. And then like in my actual real estate business, it's like the advising of the clients. If I may or may not physically be able to go open the door and show the house, but I am for dang sure going to be available via phone to talk them through, okay, here are your options, here are my concerns, here's my advice. And it's like really parsing apart. And it's like, it takes a lot of, I don't know, it's like almost like a humility to be able to delegate and give away things that I want to control. But it's like, yeah, you do have to learn that. So still a growing process for me. But
well, and you rarely kick that can down the road. So that's really, really great.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I try. For you, when you have a business owner that comes to you and they're like, I'm sure you get these sometimes. They're like, hey, I'm not doing any social media content. I don't know anything about social media. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. Where do you start them? What advice do you give them? And what's kind of the first thing that someone like that should do?
Well, we need to sit down. We need to take a look at what their true overall objectives are. Because, if someone comes to me and they say, in my business, I don't want to go out and generate leads. And, can you do social media and generate a lot of leads for me? Those are kind of sometimes red flags that person's not willing to do what they need to do to grow their business. And so, I've got some limitations on what we can do from the marketing side. We can help them with certain areas, but we can't pick up the phone and make some of those sales calls on their behalf. So we've got to first analyze what their true objectives are. And if we quickly can come to a conclusion that we can help complement some of those objectives, whether it's through doing some social media marketing, doing some video marketing, doing a YouTube channel or a podcast or something like that, then, we definitely, that's something that we excel at, and we can sit down and we can really dig our heels in and work with that particular business owner to come up with a viable strategy that's not going to suck them into the process, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, because they need to be outgrowing their business in other ways.
Yeah. I have an agent call me today that was like asking for advice on social media and stuff. And she was like, so how do you balance social media with your actual job? And I was like, it's a great question. it's hard. I mean, you are juggling two jobs almost, but it's like you don't have your main job if you're not marketing. So it's like you got to do the thing to do the thing kind of thing. So chicken or the egg, but definitely we know which one comes first here.
I just kind of used this in a recent workshop that I did that, a lot of business owners have three hats, and their main hat, let's say that they are, excuse me, they're a chiropractor, but they're not booked, with appointments every 10 or 20 minutes all day long. They're new to the business. They want to wear the, I'm a chiropractor, I'm a doctor of chiropractic hat all day. But the problem is they also need to be wearing some other hats. And one of those hats is a marketing hat. And a lot of business owners overlook that. And when you're not actually in the process of delivering goods or services to that client, you need to take that hat off and you need to put the marketing hat on. Because if we're not driving enough leads to our business and getting enough revenue, we're going to become, unfortunately, another statistic out there. So it's so, so important.
Yeah, absolutely. What are the biggest objections that you do find from people when you're sitting down in this kind of exploration meeting with them? They say, I know I should be doing social media, but I don't want to. What reasons are people avoiding it, do you find?
So a lot of people, let's say if we take the social media card, a lot of the objections that we're going to have are going to be, Kevin, I don't think it works. I think it's just strictly out there to promote brand. And so I'm not going to invest a lot of my money into doing social media just to promote my brand. They're actually right to a point, because a lot of people do the kind of post and hope type of scenario on social media, where they'll put out some generic piece of content and they'll hope that the phone will ring. Or, they'll go to a class and they'll learn, okay, I can't just put out generic content and hope. I need to put a call to action on there. So, on their piece of content that they put out, it's all leave a comment below, send me a DM, call me, those type of things. But it's not a very strong call to action. And so the phone never rings. And so people that put out content and they go through this kind of post and hope type of experience and the phone never rings, they never get the DMs or the comments, they get quickly discouraged. And so you've got to kind of sit down and ask different questions. How can I utilize social media then to leverage me in a different light, to actually start to drive more than just a little bit of brand recognition out there, and actually drive some more qualified leads into the business?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. How do you stay up on all of the things? Because I feel like every other week I see a post from Kevin about this new change to the algorithm or this new technology. Do you have a routine in your day to make sure you're keeping up on all this stuff?
So a lot of it I do at the gym, because as you can tell, I work out a lot. I don't, but I do spend probably 3, 4, or 5 mornings a week at the gym. And so when I'm doing my cardio, I'm catching up on my marketing newsletters that I subscribe to. And I've got a lot of different content creators that I follow on Instagram, and mainly on YouTube and on their podcast. And these are type of creators that I know they're very, very good on breaking news for Instagram, or someone's very, very good at delivering the latest and greatest on YouTube. And so a lot of my time at the gym is really, really focused on, trying to stay abreast of all the changes, because every day there's something new. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's funny, because when I'm doing cardio at the gym, I'm just hanging on to the top of the stair climber for dear life, with my upper half of my torso just flung over the rails. So, I mean, you're in better shape than me, so you at least have that going for you.
No, I put these in. I put my phone down, on the stair climber, and then I'm draped over there just like you. I just, luckily I've learned to listen over the years. So yeah.
That'll work. So I'm curious, because I get this question a lot, because my main area is TikTok. And that's where I've had success. And I never know what to tell people, because TikTok's kind of a mystery. I'm like, I mean, this is what I think works, but I don't know anything about the actual algorithm. Do you dive into that much? And is there a way to even figure out what they want from us to grow on TikTok? Or do you kind of avoid that one? Because I know YouTube and Meta publish what they want you to do, but TikTok does not do that at all.
Yeah. So with TikTok, you've got to be very, very careful because you've got a lot of TikTok influencers out there who claim to be TikTok experts. And so you've got to kind of weed through what is realistic and what is not. You know, when someone says, hey, I just got off a call with the people at TikTok and this is what's coming down the road, more than likely, they probably really didn't get off a phone call with TikTok. And so you've got to be really, really careful on news about the algorithm with TikTok. And so what we need to look at is people that we trust that are giving some news. And a lot of times the news that they're giving us is stuff that they've tried, other content creators have tried. And so because we don't get that insight from TikTok directly, it's a lot of trial and error. But yeah, you've got to really, really be cautious on who you're listening to when it comes to the platform, because there's a lot of news that's just not accurate out there when it comes to that.
Yeah. I always joke that it's kind of like just throwing darts and I just got lucky and hit the right spot with TikTok. But I mean, I do think when they roll out a new feature, that's an obvious thing. Like they obviously are going to want to push it. So when they roll out a new feature, try to do that. That's where my advice ends.
Well, and I've heard you say too, which I completely agree with, you've really got to focus on a niche and you've really got to kind of drill down and the algorithm will reward you on TikTok. And you're firsthand evidence that absolutely works. Some of the other stuff that's coming out right now, do you do horizontal videos? And I don't know if you've tried those on TikTok and if you've gotten any more reach and things like that. I mean, the best way to really figure out what's going to work with the algorithm when it comes to TikTok specifically is trial and error. And you've been at it for a long time, so you know what works for you.
Well, you see the ups and downs over time too, but the algorithm is crazy good on TikTok. I was at a Chiefs game and these girls were sitting behind us and we met them and started talking because it was a game that Taylor was off at and my boyfriend brought his binoculars. So we were sharing them with the girls behind us so we could look at Tay-Tay. And we're like, okay, bye. Like, nice to meet you. Like 2 days later, she comments on one of my TikToks. It was like, OMG, TikTok just put you in my feed. Like it knew that our phones were by each other, and then showed us to each other. So it's crazy. But
yeah, no, it's, there's a reason that Meta, Instagram specifically, and now Facebook have really tried to copy the algorithm over at TikTok because TikTok has done such an amazing job on dialing in what a viewer is looking for in that moment. It's wicked good at how quickly they dialed in the algorithm over at TikTok, and Instagram still hasn't been able to figure it out. Facebook hasn't been able to figure it out, but it's kind of fun watching them try.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, Kevin, I have 2 more questions for you, as you know, that I ask everyone that comes on the show. First one, maybe you've given some thought since you had some heads up on it, is what is a great meal that you've had recently out and about in Kansas City?
So I live in Southern Overland Park with my wife, Christy, and we have now made it a habit. We're probably 2 weekends a month. We get up on a Saturday morning really early and we spend the whole day downtown. Because it's a great place in Kansas City now to spend days. And there's just so much going on in downtown Kansas City. And we always start off at a coffee shop, try the different coffee shops down there and take our computers and work for an hour or two. But when we're down there every Saturday, we pack up at about 10:45 and we head down to the West Bottoms because I love barbecue. And we get in line and literally there is a line outside, whether it's raining, snowing, cold, hot, it doesn't matter, at Chef Jay's Barbecue, which is right in the heart of the Bottoms. So you've kind of got, I think it's the Edge of Hell building that they're actually located in, but it's right there at the crossroads main part of the West Bottoms. And they have by far the best barbecue meat, in my opinion, here in Kansas City. Their sides, not so much, but the actual meat itself is just amazing. So that right now is our favorite go-to meal in town.
I love that. I've never heard of it. That's a new one for me. So I'm going to have to go brave the lions sometime and try it. Okay, and the last question for you is, where can people find you? If people love the beautiful sounds of this podcast and want their own edited, if they want to shoot YouTube videos or just learn anything about content creation and marketing, how can they get in touch with you guys?
Sure. We've got a website at 180 Your Marketing. So 180 Your Marketing. And then, the best thing is to really find me on social. Kevin Mochel, Mochel. There's not a lot of us around, so it's really easy to find me on all the platforms out there. Give me a follow. You see what classes I've got coming up in Kansas City or what we've got cooking in the marketing world.
I love it. All right, Kevin, thank you for your time, and thank you for all you do for all of my content creation efforts. And I'm sure all the other clients of yours appreciate it as well. So
thank you for having me on, Rachel. It was an honor.
All right, guys, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.